of it here. You can wait a little bit, but it's going to happen at the world-famous Agora. You can go to agoracleveland.com. All the tickets, all the info is there for you. But 2 tickets for caller 10. Good luck. Skillet, Theory of a Dead Man, St. Asonia, all 3 in March at the Agora, and you'll be there too. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
It's not every day you hear him complain about something. Wait, yes it is.
Alan Cox.
On 100.7 WMMS.
I will have another $1,000 for you in about 7 minutes. That's the next chance you're going to hear one of those keywords to go fund yourself. So that's happening in a few. Chad Daniels, the great, the singer, the dancer, the raconteur, is back in town, right around the corner at Hilarities. I know you and Bill talk to each other quite frequently. Yep. I know that you will call each other and kind of wish each other good night and sweet dreams.
This is true.
I haven't seen you in a long time, though.
It has been a long time. Yeah.
Have you been?
I've been well. Now, question about this $1,000 giveaway. Mm-hmm. Is there a delay? Am I going to have a 7-second head start to call the
There's
studio?
a substantial delay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Like a 2-hour delay. So
I didn't
you'll
know that.
really...
So I can say,
no,
beep.
you'll really be in front. Yes, that's right.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. So
Things are good.
here you are in our new
I love it.
palatial abode downtown. No more trucking it out to the burbs.
Feels great.
To come slum with us.
Yeah.
You got hop and a skip.
I loved it. I was just a little tiny walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty nice, right?
It's perfect. It's cold out, but not too cold. It's like a
This is perfect comedy weather.
Yeah, it's perfect Uber weather. When you get in an Uber and they have the heat on too high, and you're like, oh my God, when is this ride gonna end?
Yes.
And then you get out and you're just like, okay, this is bad. It's just that perfect.
It's like a rolling hot
temperature.
spring that you're
Yes,
in. Yeah, it's
I
a
love it.
thick heat. But you live in Minnesota.
I do.
So is it fair to say that perhaps you're more used to something like this than somebody who's like, I'm in Phoenix, and oh my God, I can't believe.
Yeah, I think so. Like when I watched, Game of Thrones, and they were like, "Winter is coming," we were all like, "Who cares?"
Yeah, I was like, that was
This is
right.
stupid.
Yeah.
But no. So I'm kind of used to it. But I have been going. My daughter, youngest child, just went to California to go to college.
I was going to say, how old are the kids now?
Yeah, so I've
Because,
been out there. So my son, the pretty big events here. My son, 23, got engaged.
Yeah, congrats.
Try to talk him out of it. Thank you. But 23's young. And
You're
then,
like, did I teach you nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and then my daughter went to school. So I'm an empty nester.
Wow.
I'm enjoying. I thought I was going to hate it.
Yeah.
I really thought it was.
You do
gonna be
like it
tough.
so far.
It's okay. I mean, obviously, I miss having people around. It's a different kind of quiet.
Because you're not remarried, correct?
Correct,
Okay,
yeah.
just you.
Yep.
And I assume a couple of dogs?
I have one dog.
One dog, okay.
Yep. And
Yep.
then, so even when it was quiet around the house, my daughter would still be like, just humming or doing something.
It's a billion things that you don't think of at the time, but you
Right.
notice them when they're gone.
And now it is the kind of quiet where you go, oh, did the universe suck itself into itself? How does this happen?
Right.
Yeah.
Are you on do you live in like a kind of a compound, or are you way out by yourself?
No, I mean, I can be.
Yeah.
So I have a house in town,
Yeah.
a really old 1911 Craftsman, and then I have a tiny little cabin where I go, where I really just want it to be dark and no noise whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that's nice too.
Where's your daughter going?
She is going into the state of California.
Yeah.
Is what I tell people.
Yeah. I have 2 kids now. They're at Michigan State. My son is senior, but he's going to go another year. He's doing some computer thing.
Okay.
And my daughter is at the School of Music, Performing Arts.
Oh, nice.
She's a freshman. Now, they didn't grow up with me because their mom and I got divorced when they were young, but I've seen them. They've grown up in Michigan, but
Sure.
I mean, I've seen them all the way
He
through
would
the
make
thing.
he's a lot of miles on his car.
A lot of miles on the car,
Nice.
but the point being is like it was easier for me in that situation than for my ex-wife when they both went off to college.
Oh, that
Because
makes
like
sense,
even
yeah.
if there's like arguing and things like like there's going to be with teenagers, like it was obviously a much bigger deal for her to be an empty nester
Right.
than I was
Right.
used to it or whatever.
Yeah, their mom and I talked about it, and we had Olivia. So Isaac has been out for 5 years. We had Olivia every other week.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were kind of like, yeah, this isn't so bad yet because it just feels like an away week.
Yeah.
And then, that second week we were both calling each other like, what did we do? We sent her to California.
Right.
Just, kind of, it's so far away.
Yeah.
But now you also have an excuse to go out to California all the time, which
That's
bad.
true. That is
Yeah.
nice. And that was my point, is like I haven't really experienced the cold of Minnesota yet this year.
yeah.
And so
Because you popped out to that Taylor Hawkins tribute concert.
I did.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was 6 hours long.
Yeah.
And it was something else. I mean,
Are you lucky enough to be in the position that you're in? It's safe to say Chad Daniels is doing well for himself, very successful at what you're doing, and have gotten more so over the years. Do you have professional access to things like that, or are you a guy buying tickets, you know a guy who knows a guy?
I called my agency.
Yeah.
And they represent the Foo Fighters overseas.
Yeah.
And so
It's nice, right? Like
did
when you
that,
know that to me would be the best thing about achieving some level of success in showbiz is like having connections to other successful showbiz people. So it's like, I don't need to meet Dave Grohl. Can you
Right.
get me a couple of tickets for the
Right.
Taylor Hawkins thing?
Yeah. So that's exactly where I was, because there was a tent and it was, hey, if you have tickets for whatever, you're at VIP will call. And then you kind of get in that line. You're like, ooh, VIP will call. Well, I guess.
Nice.
You're like, wait, they call me or I call them?
I should
need
be like a third or a Chad Daniels the third or something.
Right.
And then the line next to you are musician comps.
Yep.
So they know all the people. So they're coming up in the coolest clothes, lot of leather, so much leather.
Yeah.
And
This was at the Hollywood Bowl?
yeah, it was at
Forum?
the Forum, yeah,
Oh,
Kia
okay.
Forum, yeah.
Yeah.
And so so then you realize, you're like, oh, I guess I should just be Chad Daniels the first. You watch all these people burn by you like, yeah, I know Dave, man, he put me on the list.
Right.
Yeah, but it was incredible. So Dave Grohl's daughter comes out, Violet. She sings Alleluia, the Jeff Buckley version.
Yeah.
And then the Foo Fighters come out and they just go, and this started on time. I'm telling you, when it went from 6:59:59
Yeah.
to 7, it started.
Yeah,
Lights went
it's not
down.
Guns N' Roses in 87.
Right, yeah, right. It was incredible. And then they come out and they go, Taylor had a lot of friends, so we're going to get started right now. We're going to be here for 3 days. Ladies and gentlemen, Joan Jett. And it's just from that moment, it takes off.
It's nonstop A-listers.
It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chad Daniels is at Hilarities this weekend, right around the corner, tonight and tomorrow, with Bam Bam Bill Squire.
Clearly saving his jokes for the stage and
Well,
not telling them on the radio.
He
program.
likes to let the guests shine. That's one of his superpowers.
I'm just setting you up. We got something for you too.
Uh-oh.
Just something we're playing. Just something
Oh.
we're playing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I got you.
No gifts.
Okay, hey, let me give away this money real quick, and then we'll get past this. It is your third to last chance to win, by the way, so take advantage of these. $1,000 to go fund yourself. Listen very closely to this keyword, and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword BILLS at WMMS.com. That's BILLS. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
By the way, if you are watching the show at AlanCoxShow.com, you can thank our helper in the video department back there, Kevin Thadog. Thank you so much for helping out today. It's very...
We have people that help out with the live stream every day.
Yes.
It's always someone different, and today it's Kevin the dog.
Kevin Thadog. Thank you so much. I was inadvertently, I think, because Chad's at Hilarities this weekend, but inadvertently, there was a Cleveland-ish tweet. You were like, because Twitter's melting down and who knows what's going to happen. And you had tweeted, just in case I never get a chance on here, I think Kevin Costner is incredibly handsome in Draft Day, which, very true.
So good looking.
Shot in Cleveland.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was they was drafting for
Cleveland
the
Browns,
Yeah,
right? It was supposed to
absolutely.
be, what was it supposed to be? They were like, supposed to be the Buffalo Bills, I think, and Cleveland ended up giving them more tax breaks. So they go, the whole script just changed to the Cleveland Browns, and that's what we're
that's
going to.
fantastic.
Because at the time, my wife was still with the Cleveland Film Commission.
Okay.
And she's in a couple scenes in that movie, but she was part of the prod team. And she was like, yeah, I think it was supposed to be in Buffalo. And then Cleveland was like, Ohio was like, well, we'll give you more tax breaks. Okay, it just changed to the Cleveland Browns.
I wonder how they're able to give film tax breaks. Maybe it's because they take comedians' taxes.
Yeah.
For the city. Unbelievable.
Yeah. All kinds of, it's all chicanery, isn't it? It's all
love that.
smoke.
Well, when
and
you're
mirrors.
selling as many tickets as you, then it probably hurts a little more.
Listen. I have no idea if there's even taxes. I don't. Ever
There's
pay
a city
attention.
tax, but it's
But I will tell you that you want to talk to me about Kevin Costner being handsome, and somebody said no, he isn't, and I said he's
very handsome.
Jennifer Garner pregnant in the movie.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Do you watch that Yellowstone show that he's
do.
on? I don't watch that, and people go, "You got to watch Yellowstone." I go, "Okay," but I think it's like 4 or 5 seasons in now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, man, I should have started earlier.
I'll tell you something. You don't have to watch it.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's like
Hillbilly Sons of Anarchy, isn't it?
it's
kind of
like The Sopranos moved to Montana.
Okay.
That's how I describe it.
I mean, I like The Sopranos.
Yeah. I mean,
Montana's big sky country.
it's just
beautiful.
it's a family that kind of runs stuff.
Okay.
And if someone comes up against them, it's not great for that person.
yeah. I mean,
But
I do like
Costner's great,
Costner, man.
Oh, he's so good in
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Chad Daniels is that Chad Daniels on social media, and a quick glance will show you for people who are uninitiated. How many podcasts do you have?
Just one.
See, that makes you a real unicorn because comics that have started doing podcasts and had a great deal of success with them, they always end up doing 3 or 4. And my thought was always, God, who's got that much time? So many things to talk about.
Sure.
You're doing one, but your
Yeah.
albums on streaming,
Yeah.
gotten 700 million streams.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I'm no mathematician.
that's a lot.
That's a lot of streams.
Let's just, everybody listening, remember that you don't get $1 a stream. You get point. There's a
Yes,
point,
yes.
and
Yeah.
then there's 12 zeros,
Yeah.
and then a 3, and
Yeah.
that's the cents that
Right.
you get.
But I don't
And
even.
they're trying to make it lower.
Right. We're giving the artist too much.
Yeah.
But I don't even mean from a financial standpoint
Sure.
because everybody knows nobody, there's 2 or 3 people getting rich off streaming. Just as an accomplishment, that's a big deal. To
Yeah,
have
it's
that
pretty
many people
crazy to
go, you know what I
see.
mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you might not feel like a household name, but there are so many people who like what you do and who are into what you do. Who cares?
Yeah, and the listening part is great, right?
Yeah.
Because I only have 2 visual specials. Well, maybe it doesn't matter. But I was in Tampa once, and I'm standing in back watching the openers, and this woman comes up, and I'm wearing, dark jeans and a black T-shirt, and she goes, "Can you tell me where the restrooms are?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're right over here. You go out here, and you just
Yeah.
go right back there."
She thought you were the concierge.
Yeah, and then she goes, "Your voice, you're him." And I'm like, I don't know who him is.
Yeah.
But people, they have no clue. I have stood in line behind people waiting to get into the show, and they're doing my bits right in front of me, and they have no clue I'm behind them because they have no idea what I look like. It's awesome.
I was going to say, I would almost think that would be the preferable level of celebrity.
It's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's celebrity. It's just nice to have any other human being know something you've done.
Yeah, right.
Especially when you are an attention
And
hog
quote it.
and yeah, right.
Quote it rather than somebody going, "Oh, I think he does a thing. I think I heard." For
Right.
them to do it,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And the voice thing too is fun too because I mean, I did stand up before radio, but obviously I was still working in clubs and stuff. I never got to the point where anybody else successful got. So the bulk of my career has been radio. And it's always wild for anybody to recognize you by your voice. Radio's all video now, too, so there's a little bit more of that in recent years. But the voice thing, because just for me, I don't know that I would recognize somebody by their voice.
Yeah.
You don't
So
think that until
that's-
you hear it, though. And I've been at events, and I'll hear the Cavs broadcast team, and I'll hear Tim Alcorn, and I'll be like, I heard him before I saw him. And I was like, Tim's here. So, like,
Yeah, okay. Maybe we're
you do
more
get
attuned to
excited,
it,
yeah.
or, yeah. I
Well,
don't know.
it's just, you don't think about it until you're actually in that situation.
Yeah, okay.
And then you hear that voice, especially when they have such a distinct voice. A guy that does play-by-play has a very distinct voice, and so it carries through the room, and you're just like, I know who that is.
Right.
He's like, I'd like 2 cheeseburgers, please,
Yeah.
and I'd get a large fry. Everybody in line's, I think I know who that guy is. That guy ordering food. He sounds familiar.
I was watching Eddie Murphy Delirious, first comedy special I ever got to watch.
How old were you?
I was in 6th grade
42.
when I saw it, but I bet you I was late 30s when I was watching it the time I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
So late 30s, my daughter comes out of her bedroom and she goes, "Why is Donkey swearing?"
Right.
So she recognized it, and then we
Yeah.
watched So I Married an Axe Murderer, where Mike Myers plays a million people,
Yes.
and he plays his dad with a Scottish accent, and she looks at me and she goes, "Shrek?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's
Yes.
exactly who it is."
Yeah. God, I love So I Married an
That's
Axe
such a
Murderer.
good movie.
It's one of my
It's so
favorite
great.
movies of all time. And I feel like in recent years with streaming, people have gotten onto it. But I remember seeing that in the theater because it was post Wayne's World. So basically, the studio told Mike Myers, you can do whatever you want. We will give you a blank check.
Right.
And he made a movie that nobody saw. But it meant a lot to him, and it was that movie. And I saw it in the theater in like 93, I think, or something. And there were 3 other people in the theater, and they weren't laughing. And I was howling because I think everybody thought it was going to be Wayne's World Part 2 or so at
Yeah.
that time. God, I love that movie.
It's so funny. I mean, so my friend and I, we watched it, and every time we see each other, still, right? I'm 47 years old, and I will see him at the grocery store, and whoever sees each other first will go, and Charlie, light a match! We just
Yes, there's a billion lines in that
Yeah.
movie.
You can go back and forth. I was
With
gonna
your wee beady eyes. Yeah.
You know, he just made on Netflix. He made a movie,
A series,
called
yeah.
The
The
Pentaveret.
Pentaveret.
Yeah. I enjoyed
That's-
that series. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's very Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
very Mike.
It's
Myers.
amazing that he took like a little piece from that movie and goes, let's just do a whole thing. Let's expand it out and see what we can come up with.
You got that video? Can you play that for him?
The the ad?
Yeah.
I do, yes. This is what you were talking about.
Unfortunately, couldn't find any other version.
I can play this on the live stream, right?
Yeah, you can play it on the
Yeah,
live stream,
okay.
but Chad will know what it is as soon as we hit play on it because he'll recognize the audio.
Okay.
Harassment and emotional abuse. The
Yes.
allegations against Dan Bomer are horrifying. Angry outbursts, bullying, multiple calls to police. Bomer recorded his son while he showered. His wife, while she slept, made her drive herself to the doctor while having a miscarriage. And Bomer paid his child support late, too, weeks at a time, failing to provide for his young children. He called his own wife a cunt.
That's a political ad.
This is a political attack ad up in Minnesota where Chad lives for a guy named Dan Bomer. This guy, I remember the name Dan Bomer like 10 years ago because this was a guy who was like, we shouldn't let college kids vote because they don't care about anything and we don't need them and blah, blah.
Right.
This guy's a real piece of work. But this attack ad lives up to the phrase attack ad, boy.
It is
It's got the
so
C word
great.
in it.
Yeah,
It
it's
vaguely
unbelievable.
edited.
The lightest bleep you've ever heard.
There's only, for the first time ever, there's only one E in beep.
Yeah.
That's how short the beep is.
Oh, God. Dan Bomer.
I heard you
said
talk
it.
about that on the podcast, and I was like, I got to find this ad, and I found it, and I was like, you were not lying about how quick that bleep is.
Yeah.
They're like, they wanted to send a message, and that message was the C word.
Yeah.
If they would have been filming me watching that ad, I'm all alone in my home. My dog is sleeping on a different couch, and I'm just rolling around in the chair laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, just like a crazy person.
They're like-
It's such a funny ad.
Because there's such a ramp up to it, and then they hit you with the light bleep, and you're just like, that was the closer. I can't vote for that guy now because on principle I have to vote for the person that made that ad because it's just that
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
And
They
by
get
the
my
way,
vote.
Yeah, you filmed your son sleeping and your wife showering. Sorry, I care about
No.
the security of my family.
You had it backwards. Filmed his son showering and his wife
Oh, he did?
sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, I take everything I said back.
Yeah.
Then.
Now that could also go to a place where it's like you have a cute video of your little kid in a bathtub, and you're like, that doesn't sound like that's what this was, but they can always frame it as something
Sure.
disgusting.
It could also be the boy was 13 and he was like, I'm sick of paying this water bill, dude.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
There's a camera in there from now on.
Yeah. I know what you're doing in there.
Yeah.
Chad Daniels is at Hilarities this weekend. So if you don't see him this weekend, who knows when you'll get another chance to see him
That's
at
true.
Hilarities, right?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Last time you were here, we went over to my place and we killed a bottle of whiskey.
I know. I
and
was going to look for it tomorrow.
yeah, but it's one of those things where that was because we were coming. It was still pretty heavy pandemic then.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, I haven't seen people
Yeah.
and hung out, so let's hang out.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't think I could do that again ever.
Drink that much?
Nah,
No way.
that was like
A whole bottle of whiskey between the two of you.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if it was between the two of us. I
you
think
drank
you were
most
drinking
of the Four
something else.
Roses. Yeah, I was drinking,
It was rough.
and then Yeah, that was.
I drank 3.5 roses, I bet, that night. It was a lot.
Well,
It was
if
a lot.
you
We were up till about 3 a.m. playing Papa Shot and making bets.
If you ever decide to run up there, that's what they're going to put in that attack ad.
You drank 3
that's going to be
Daniels.
the first thing because there's a lot of stuff after that.
Well, it's good to see you, man. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in. This is really great. And congrats on the news. This is unbelievable.
You know,
This space.
we built it ourselves, DIY from the ground
Well,
up, and
good
boy,
job,
aren't
you
we
guys.
happy.
Good job.
You can go to pickwickandfrolic.com for the details, or just scoot right over there and get some tickets for tonight. It's Chad Daniels and Bam Bam Bill Squire. That Chad Daniels on social media for all the details, too. And we'll take a break. 35192. You want to text for anything, you can get me there. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7.
WMMS.
The Menu is a deliciously twisted thriller.
What the hell is going on?
Now in theaters.
It's all part of the menu.
The Menu.